So the wait is over and Pokken Tournament Fighter has finally been released. This one comes with an amiibo card. Yay. Just what I wanted. A card that is required to unlock content every time I start it, because this is temporary, this isn't permanent. You have to use this every time to unlock Shadow Mewtwo, as far as I have found out so far. Now, I have not completed this game 100%, but as with any fighting game, there is not exactly the most deepest story in the world. There is not the most deepest different gameplay mechanics going on later on in the story. So basically, if you play this game quite a bit in free-for-all, single battles, online exhibitions, and things like that, you're gonna get a good feel for it. Now, you can take my review for a grain of salt because I'm not a fighting game enthusiast. I'm not the most amazing person when it comes to fighting games. In fact, I'm pretty terrible at fighting games. So that might affect your thought process on whether or not you want to buy this. But to say the least, I find Pokken Tournament to be excessively easy. I've actually got a clip of my daughter beating many matches on the single player mode, which is okay. That's perfectly fine. You could ramp up the difficulty, and of course you could fight someone real, which is probably more to the liking of a lot of people. This game is similarly based upon Tekken. It allows for the selection of multiple characters and is pretty good, I would say. I don't know if it warrants the price tag, which is $50 to $60, depending on where you're at, sometimes a little bit more. The character roster is pretty lackluster. And as I've stated multiple times in my videos, I find it weird that there's only 3 fighting types in this game: Blaziken, Machamp, and Lucario. So far, Machamp's my favorite character. Shocker. I've used Charizard, Lucario, and several others as well, but I've spent the most time with Machamp. The basic rundown is that you're on an island, and they really love to have Pokemon tournaments. And based upon if you win or lose in your Pokemon tournament, you rank up, and then you can go to the next league. You start off in the Green League. I get it? He's a newbie, he's green. I got it. And then you can participate in tournaments as well, which are basically just knockout rounds where you go up against someone, and then you go up against someone else who's knocked out the previous entrants, and then you go up against the final guy. It's nothing outstanding. It's nothing game-breaking here. It's not turn-based. It's not anything else but Tekken and Pokemon combined together. So the biggest complaints I have about this game is the shortness of the matches or the lack of HP for each character. So it is a 2-round game. I do appreciate the 2 rounds. I sometimes like games to have 1 round if they have a lot more to them, but this one is very quick. You can charge your ultimate attack, which would be in other games where you can use this ultimate move to take out a huge chunk of your enemy's hit points meter. You can do that on here. It's called something like a burst move, and some Pokemon Mega Evolve like Lucario and other Pokemon just use moves like I think Machamp uses something like Fisher and then Dynamic Punch 1,000 times. And that's cool, that's fine, As I said before, I think the weakest points of this game are on the character selection. I mean, they had a mid-tier fire Pokemon from X and Y as a selection, not a starter in the first evolution slot where it wasn't evolved at all, and not the final evolution. So that was really strange to see, There were plenty of other fighting types that could have been introduced, instead of Suicune, you could have had Poliwrath. He was a fighting water type, and he could have used Suicune's moves, and then, use the fighting type moves to compensate also for everything else. Weevil's in this, and Weevil's alright, but it's just kind of weird, because as soon as I go up against Weevil with Machamp, I'm thinking, oh yeah, I'm gonna win this. Ice Dark type? Yeah, dude. Fighting type? I'm gonna cross chop him into oblivion, Vital Throw him. You have your standard throws, your grips, your heavy hits, your light hits. You can chain together a few combos here and there. You can even jump in this game, which is really nice. The battles take place on a 3D plane, so it's not 2D. It's not turn-based. It's live. But by the time you get your burst ready, the battle's usually going to be halfway over, and you can beat the enemy without using your burst. It's on single player, at least. There's training modes to help you refine. There's a tutorial that'll teach you everything you need to know and get you up and running in 5 minutes. Sound-wise, the music isn't anything to write home about. It's just music. Sounds alright. No problem. But, I've heard way better from the standard staple Pokemon games. Controls support the Wii Pro controller, the Wii U Pro controller, and the Wii U controller itself, obviously, but I would suggest getting a Pro controller for this. There is a special Pokken pad that has come out, but it's sold out in multiple places, so good luck getting it if you don't have it already. As far as gameplay, I've already talked about the shortcomings. I find it extremely odd that Pikachu took up 2 slots, being Pikachu Libre in one of them. Again, Hallelujah I think would have fit there a lot better, but that's my own personal opinion and thoughts. But unfortunately, a lot of people agree with me because they find the character selection in the roster to be lackluster. And I think that's the biggest shortcoming of this game, the fact that the characters are so lackluster and there's very few of them. The original Smash Brothers had about 8 characters and it wasn't that bad of a game, and this one has a few more than that. But the fact that the characters themselves aren't super awesome, man. Like, yeah, Lucario's great, man, but then you have Pikachu Libre, and a lot of people don't like that type of Pokemon to be in the game. They find it very odd, weird. And then you have to unlock Shadow Mewtwo by using that card over and over again if you want to unlock them. And that's okay, that's fine. It's just weird that they would reskin these models and textures and reuse them in different ways like that. Then that's fine. Again, that's fine. But that's one of the weakest points of the fighting game. And in a fighting game, your game is usually only as good as the characters that are in it, unfortunately. So, yeah, that's just the way it goes usually. And stage selections are pretty decent. There's a lot of stuff going on in the background. They look really nice. And as for the online aspect, it holds up. It's a good connection. You can find someone very quickly to battle. You better be good at the game, though, because there are people that come over from Tekken and Tekken-style games, along with Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter, and they will juggle you all day long if you don't know what you're doing. So if you're casual and you're looking to get into the fighting scene, you need to practice against real people before you hop online, because you'll probably get your ass juggled real bad. And that's just my personal advice to you. So, you're probably wondering why there's no gameplay footage. Well, you can thank Nintendo for that, because they like to copyright gameplay footage on YouTube of anything. Even this isn't completely immune. Being a Pokemon game, this is a bit different one, so I'm not going to risk it. Sorry. And the final shortcoming I wanted to discuss before giving my final verdict of this game is the fact that these just unlock customizable bonuses for your trainer. Yes, your trainer can be customized. Very similar to Pokemon, I think Coliseum on the Wii. It might not be Coliseum, but it's the Pokemon that was on the Wii game where you can customize your trainer with different things. You can unlock backgrounds for them. You can unlock fedoras. Tip the fedora. Yep. You can unlock scarves. Just ridiculous stuff. Just aesthetic stuff. Doesn't do anything for you. Each battle round, your Pokemon does level up, though, and you can give them more strength or more burst time or more defense, and that is why I think this is the worst shortcoming of the game. There is no amiibo support for that. So for example, if you had a Lucario amiibo and you put him down on the thing, it would unlock a random item, very similar to Hyrule Warriors, but it wouldn't unlock Lucario's profile. It wouldn't instantly load up your Lucario, so you couldn't take this with you to a friend's house and play Pokken by putting him down on the Wii U pad. So, is this game worth $50 to $60? If you're a fighting game enthusiast, definitely. If you're a Pokemon enthusiast, you might want to look at the gameplay and think twice about it. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, that's my final verdict. I give this game a solid B-. Decent effort, but it's a little bit lackluster in areas that it needs to be a little bit bulkier and better. I've been your host, Protomario, and I'm signing out. And as always, good gaming, and God bless. Thanks for watching my video and making it to the end. And would you please consider subscribing to my channel? By subscribing to my channel, you are not only supporting me, but also joining a community that is against stereotypes, lies, and fraud in gaming. I work my hardest to inform my subscribers of important stories that might affect them. From new games to important updates, the Mavericks are always informed. If you are tired of political correctness ruining your gaming experience, then join my rebellion, because PC isn't for me. And if it isn't for you either, consider yourself a friend of the Mavericks. Subscribe today and you'll be in good hands. Mavericks unite, and together we can keep gaming from falling prey to the people that would not only censor it, but also destroy it.